Hello and welcome back to How About That Crypto. You are watching a daily crypto news and updates with your host, Bitcoin Stylist on Twitter and Bitcoin Hairstylist on Instagram. I'm here Monday through Friday and I explain crypto Web3 while keeping you up to date on all the latest. Today's news stories are JP Morgan says they have replaced real estate with digital assets as their preferred alternative asset class. I know, it's nuts. And a new bill has been proposed in the US Senate to ban apps that accept the digital yuan. This is massive. What does all this mean? Not to worry, I'll explain it all. But first, if you like or don't like the content, please let me know by leaving a comment below. If you're listening on podcast, please give me 5 stars and follow me. If you're watching on YouTube, please smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, help support the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just to be clear and litigious, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can use the links below to do your own research. All right. The biggest naysayer of the private sector is Jamie Dimon. He hates Bitcoin. However, he has come around on digital assets in general. Well, now we have a fascinating report from the biggest private sector naysayer, although he is in competition with Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. They seem like they're never going to come around. Well, anyway, we call this capitulation. Capitulation is when someone basically gives in and joins. Well, at least in this scenario. Very good for adoption. All right. We're just gonna jump right in and I'm gonna share my screen. If you're listening on podcast, you can use the links below to follow along. All right. So author Ben Strack reports for Blockworks, JP Morgan. Crypto trumps real estate as preferred alternative asset class. Bitcoin, which traded below 30,000 Wednesday afternoon, has a fair value of $38,000, according to the bank. All right, let me give you a little. Okay, so I want to read a couple of things here. I think this is really important stuff. I mean, you got like JP Morgan is like massive bank, and their CEO has been so anti-crypto for so long. But they were the first bank in the metaverse, and they call it a $1 trillion opportunity. It says right here, JP Morgan made a strategic investment in a blockchain intelligence company in February called TRM Labs, and earlier this month, the company unveiled a virtual lounge in blockchain-based world, Decentraland, the bank said in a report at the time. This was articles from about 5 days ago, just so you know. And all right, so let's look at this. A potential lagged repricing. Here you go. A potential lagged repricing keeps us more cautious on private equity, private debt, and real estate over the coming quarters. We thus replace real estate with digital assets as our preferred alternative asset class, along with hedge funds. So how I read this is they're saying that private equity, private debt, and real estate are not in good price territory. They don't like that alternative asset class. They don't like these assets. They don't want to put their money in. They see more upside in investing in hedge funds, and specifically, okay, and it says digital assets. And I mean, JP Morgan, he doesn't like Bitcoin, and he did I reported on this, and I played a clip on JP Morgan was doing a speech at the last, I think it was letter to shareholders or right after that, and he was saying Bitcoin will never replace the dollar. No one's ever going to let that happen. But digital assets. So like, what does that mean? I think we're just going to keep our eyes open and try to stay abreast of what they think that means, because what I think that means is definitely cryptocurrencies and NFTs and companies that use the blockchain technology. Although a digital asset is not a company that uses blockchain technology, a digital asset is something that's stored on the blockchain, and that can be an NFT or that could be cryptocurrency. Okay. So, and it says the analyst fair value for Bitcoin remained unchanged around $38,000, implying significant upside. Last I checked, let's see, what is Bitcoin trading at right now? 31,700. So another 6,300, which is about 20% upside from here. So, and according to this, at the time of the article, is even trading even lower. So one really important thing I think is important to understand, how do they come up with this? Like, why are they saying this? Other than the fact that they think the price has more upside. Well, I think it's a little more depth than that. I'm sure they're not that simple. So let's check this out. Venture capital funding in the crypto space will be a key metric to watch. They think that you really need to focus on investing in dollars. And remember, I've said in the past, if you want to invest in something, this is not financial advice, but if a person wanted to invest in something, the advice that I've gotten and all the research I've looked at says that during a bear market, the coins that make money after their ICO, meaning their initial coin offering, meaning after they sell the initial round of coins, once anybody involved it's like a payday for them. Once that payday leaves, if VCs are still coming in, then that's a very positive sign that because they don't have that quick upside from that initial sale of coins. So they're going to be looking at it very differently. It's very easy to like create a lot of hype, around a coin, and then drop the coin, let that price go skyrocket. And while it's going up, you're just selling it while everybody else is out there buying it, and you make a ton of money. And that is why the government wants to regulate it, because that happens a lot. Okay. A lot. Yes, a lot. So venture capital money coming into the space is a good sign that this ball is still going to keep rolling. So it says, of the $25 billion of venture capital funding so far in 2022, nearly $4 billion came after the Terra Luna crash, which we've been talking about. Which I also reported $4.5 billion was just raised by Andreessen Horowitz A16Z crypto arm. So they're talking about stuff that you already know about if you're watching this show. So what are they saying? They're saying, we like digital assets more than we like real estate. That's a big statement. We see a lot more upside, and the big thing we're watching for is venture capital money. And as a matter of fact, of the 25 billion of venture capital funding so far, nearly 4 billion. So this is not clear whether this is saying 25 billion total venture capital everywhere, or is this 25 billion that's gone into the space since 2022. The point is, they still see money coming in even after a massive crash, which means that they did not scare them. Does it scare you? Leave a comment below. What do you think about this? Do you think that this is a massive statement? Would you put digital assets over real estate? I don't even know that I could do that. And then they go on to say, if venture capital funding dries up from here as a result of the loss of confidence from the collapse of Terra's ecosystem, then a return to the long winter of 2018 to 2019 would look more likely for crypto markets. Thus far, there's little evidence of VC funding drying up. So it's very early. I think it's a little excessive, especially this thing was come a few days ago. I'm going to keep my eye on this for you, because I think that they're right. I think that this is the biggest metric. As long as money's still coming in this space, then we have the potential for growth. However, we will not get the hype and the big booms of money until the rest of the economy and the market creates a less risky environment. Or people decide that crypto is the new way and Web3 is the new way, and people say, I'm just going to put my money in the future. What do you think about this? Please let me know. Leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. And I am moving on. All right. Let me get that. Bam. Okay. I'm sure many of you know who that is. And if you're listening on podcast, the article titled, so there's a new bill introduced to ban China's digital yuan. And I pulled up an article by George Glover, writing for Markets Insider, and it's a picture of Marco Rubio, and it says, Republican senators want to ban Apple and Google from hosting apps that accept China's digital yuan stablecoin. Okay, so first of all, like, the reason why I like this piece of news so much is because it just goes to show that government recognizes that the digital currency being pushed by China has a potential to be a negative impact on the US somehow. So the point I'm trying to say is, like, Do we want to take a back seat? Do we want to sit around with no legislation clarifying regulation? Do we want to sit around with what's happening? Like, we cannot get crypto to take off because, like I've said in the past, the gap accounting standards need to be changed. Legislation needs to pass to clarify registration, and we need to get this ball rolling. We need a spot ETF. We need, like, if we had all those things, who knows how important inflation would be on this thing? Because if we had all those things, then maybe it would not be seen as less risky. It's risky because no one knows what's going to happen when it comes to regulations. No one has access that we need to have access to this stuff. Like the banks and publicly traded companies, they can't keep crypto on their balance sheet without making them look bad in the event of a downturn in the prices. So they can, it's like they're buying furniture or something. Like they can't write the value up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then the way it works is when you if you buy gold and you put it in your treasury and you're a publicly traded company, you can, that's considered a capital asset. You can write the value up when the value goes up, and you have to report your financial statement every quarter and let your investors know and the public know, like, what you're worth based on valuing your company based on whatever metrics and what type of risks you foresee, blah, blah, blah. Well, the SEC has rejected the use of crypto as a capital asset. You can write the value down when the value drops, but when the value goes back up, you cannot write it back up. It's ridiculous, I know, and I'm not an accountant, so I can't explain any deeper than that, but that's just is. So that needs to change. Okay. And then, of course, regulation, securities versus commodities, all this stuff we can talk about. Well, I love seeing that there are all these bills been coming out. I know it's a midterm election. I know they propose these bills for political posturing and communication. Well, hopefully some of these bills stick around, and who knows, maybe they will get a bill passed that has to do with crypto beforehand, as long as it's super bipartisan, maybe like a stablecoin regulation, or maybe something like this. Republican senators have drafted a bill that would ban China's digital yuan from app stores. Apple and Google would be barred from hosting apps that accept digital yuan as a form of payment. Marco Rubio and Tom Cotton are two of the bill's sponsors. Okay, so 3 Republicans introduced a bill called the Defending Americans from Authoritarian Digital Currencies Act. Check that out. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait until these bills start passing and we get some clarity and everyone just feels so much more comfortable getting into crypto. We could literally see things turn around, my opinion. All right. I would like to read this piece. The digital yuan is a central bank digital currency, meaning it's pegged to the Chinese renminbi and issued by the Chinese central bank. It's already used in at least 15 cities and being rolled out at the 22 Beijing Winter Olympics. And okay, so one, they're moving forward with their own crypto. And as we know, crypto is public and every single transaction is recorded. So China doesn't want other cryptocurrencies competing with their crypto, or their digital currency. So they banned all digital currency and they banned everything. So I don't think it's unrealistic and ridiculous thought to ban China's yuan. I actually love this. Anything to kneecap the Chinese. They're our biggest competitor. So we need as much advantages as we get. And plus, let me read this for you. The Chinese Communist Party will use its digital currency to control and spy on anyone who uses it. Just so everyone knows, so will any other government that creates a CBDC. It is a surveillance currency. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is just the technology and how it can be used, unlike our current money technology. So the person who is saying this is this Tom Cotton, who likes the idea of us having a digital dollar. And he sees that it is going to be used for surveillance. The United States should reject China's attempt to undermine our economy at its most basic level. Well, amen to that. And on top of that, like, China is just trying to take people out of the US dollar system and put them into the Chinese yuan, digital yuan system. It's a completely different monetary system. That's why we need to adopt crypto so we can compete have competition in multiple. However, we have so much, the majority of the money in the space, that the most used crypto in the space are synthetic dollars. So maybe we just need to make sure that there are no more Terras, algorithmic stablecoin with no hardly any backing. That's just going to collapse. Anyway, I can't wait to hear the comments because I'm being pretty convicted about these statements that I'm making. Okay, so let's keep moving on. Let's see. It makes no sense to tie ourselves to the digital currency of a genocidal regime that hates us and wants to replace us on the world stage, Rubio added. This is a major financial surveillance risk that the United States cannot afford to take. Amen. I actually 100% agree with all of that. And what do you think? I think that this is super bullish because we got senators, members of Congress, we got people in legislators and the executive branch. We have government, big bankers. Everyone's talking about crypto now. What do you think? Do you think this is positive? I do. Tell me why. Tell me why not. Tell me what you liked, what you did not like, what I said. I can't wait to hear from you. Have a good day. Hodl on.